Welcome into the On3 studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. We are wrapping up a big weekend of commitments here on the On3 YouTube channel. So if you've been a part of them, welcome back. If you're here for today's event, welcome on in. So as everybody gets in here and gets comfortable, do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. We all know why we're here. It's four-star running back Nathaniel Frazier Day. 5'10", 210 pounds out of Modern Day High School in Santa Ana, California. Nate Frazier's the number 2 ranked running back in America and the 45th best player overall, according to the On3 industry rankings. Let's take a look at some of his official visits that he took in June. Now you see he went to Oregon on the 16th. Alabama was the final trip he took of the summer on the 23rd. And then there's an upcoming visit to Georgia. We'll see how that plays into this decision. Now, Frazier has been narrowing his list of schools throughout the offseason, really throughout his entire career, to get to the point we're at today. We're down to 4 finalists. Let me know in the comment section right now. I know we got a lot of fans represented here, so let me know your final prediction. Is it going to be Texas A&M? Is it going to be Alabama, Georgia, or Oregon? Let me know. Earlier this week, I spoke with Director of Scouting and Ranking Charles Power to get his opinion on Nathaniel Frazier as a high school prospect.
Nate Frazier, in my mind, has separated himself as the most explosive every down back in the 2024 cycle, the lone 5-star running back for On3. I think with Nate Frazier, you have to start off with his size and speed combination. He's around 5'10", 210 pounds, and has elite speed. Carries that speed over to the field in a functional way. Outstanding burst with the ball in his hands. It pairs that with very good contact balance, runs through arm tackles, spins out of tackles, gathers himself and stays grounded as a runner. Also has receiving ability out of the backfield. Very productive and dangerous as a junior at Modern Day. Averaged around 11, 12 yards a carry. We want to see the production and the volume increase, but on a per carry basis, I think he's the most explosive back in the 2024 cycle, and he's going to be a big get for whoever he commits to.
Thank you, Charles. A highly productive back on the high school level. We're going to get to Santa Ana, California in a minute here, but first, let's check in on some national recruiting headlines as Florida State jumps Alabama. Yesterday, 5-star safety KJ Bolden, the number 1 safety in America, chose the Seminoles over Georgia, Auburn, Ohio State, and Alabama. Auburn lands a 4-star athlete, Jalewis Solomon. This one was trending heavily towards South Carolina into this commitment date, but the 4-star athlete, who is expected to play DB on the next level, is heading to the Plains. He chose Auburn. The future is bright for South Carolina. 2026 quarterback Landon Duckworth committed. 6'2", 190, chose the Gamecocks over UF, UCF, and TCU. He's got a big arm, and South Carolina is loading up for the future. More commitments coming. The month of August brings out the stars, and we got more commitments. This month, we're expecting to hear from Colin Simmons, the number 1 edge, the number 1 defensive lineman in America, Williams Nwaneri, and the number 2 defensive lineman in America, David Stone. All August decisions. Big ones coming. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's take a quick look at the 2024 top 10 team rankings. Heading into Nate Frazier's big decision, this is how it looks. Dogs on top, Ohio State, Florida. You got Florida State at 4, Bama at 5. Then it goes Tennessee, Clemson, Michigan, Penn State, and the red-hot LSU Tigers at number 10. We'll see if these rankings change by the end of the show, depending on where Nate Frazier goes. Now, we're all here today for the live commitment of Nathaniel Frazier. Is it going to be Texas A&M? Will it be Oregon, Georgia, or Bama for four-star running back Nate Frazier? 5'10", 210 pounds out of Santa Ana, California. Let's bring on Director of Recruiting for On3, Chad Simmons. Chad, we are here just moments away from hearing from Nate Frazier. So give me your opinion and break down these finalists for me.
Obviously he's got 4 heavyweight, finalists: Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Texas A&M. Frazier's a guy, like Charles said, you want to build your program around. He's a guy that can stay on the field for 3 downs. He plays at a high-level program in modern day that's known for competition, producing national-level recruits. So whoever he chooses getting I think a day one contender for playing time in the running back position. I think obviously Alabama and Georgia, schools down south and SEC country, produce running backs on the regular basis for the NFL. That's always appealed to him. And then Texas A&M made a push in the spring and summer as well. They signed Reuben Owens last year, a top 50 running back, top 50 player in the country. And then Oregon, I think, has been always pushing to be part of that, maybe changing the program guy, help them win a national championship, compete, with teams like, Alabama and Georgia on the national level. So Frazier's been a guy, a hot commodity, a national prospect, and why these 4 schools are going after him.
How much do you think location plays into this decision?
For me, just covering not just Frazier, but guys at modern day and guys on the West Coast. It's not really, I don't think, a big factor for Nate. I think location, you see guys this year already from modern day committed to Alabama, committed to Oregon. That's a national program that produces national talent. And guys like Frazier look at his national options to figure out what program is best for him, regardless of where that's at in the country.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're about ready to go to Santa Ana, California, where Nate Frazier is getting set up. His family's getting situated. They're getting ready. Also, be sure to follow him on both Instagram and Twitter. Nate Frazier, 4-star running back, down to a Final Four. Texas A&M, Oregon, Alabama, and Georgia. Take a look at these social handles because his career is about to take off. All right. Looks like Nate is in place. Nathaniel Frazier, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell me, how you feeling right now? What are the emotions of the day?
That's a lot of emotions. If I'm being honest, I'm quite nervous right now. It took a lot to get to this point, a lot of hard work. So everything is starting to come in and starting to drain on me.
Yeah. Well, you narrowed your list down to a Final Four. What were some of the things that mattered most when you defined the teams that made this cut?
Really a place where my family is comfortable with me at, where I'm comfortable at, and I know I'm going to be developed the best. A place where I can call home and call the school and the people that surround the school, my family.
All right, Nate, it's time. Say your thank yous and let us know where you plan to go to college.
First off, I want to thank God as always. I want to thank my support system. I want to thank my village because it takes a village to raise a young man. I want to thank my teammates. I want to thank everybody who was with me throughout this process. That's all. For the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be furthering my education and taking my talents to University of Georgia.
It's the Dogs for Nate Frazier. Nate, when did you know it was going to be Georgia? When did you know it would be the Dogs?
Honestly, it took me my first visit when I went to Georgia. It was amazing. Just knowing the history that they have with their running backs over the years, especially at a young age of freshman year, sophomore year, and things that they did, like guys like DeAndre Swift, Sony Michel, and all those guys. It meant a lot to me because a big thing for me was going into a college where I'll be given a chance. And then seeing that and Coach McGee giving those guys a chance, that was it for me. Being around the campus, being around Coach Smart, he's a family guy. He really cares about his kids. He really cares about his school. And he's a great father and a great leader and role model. So, yeah, that took a lot for me, man, being in the SEC as well. So it's just different.
What was Coach Kirby's reaction when you told him you were committing?
He was going crazy, man. You know how he is when he's always throwing his hats and stuff in the football game. So I feel like that was the same reaction he had on the phone.
All right. Tell Georgia fans what they're getting in 4-star running back Nate Frazier when he steps on campus in Athens, Georgia.
Georgia fans, man, I'm giving you guys my all and keeping the running back U tradition alive.
All right, Nate, go celebrate. I know you got your family there, you got some friends, and you got teammates. Go enjoy the day. Congrats and go Dogs. All right, Nate Frazier commits to Georgia. Dogs add the number 2 ranked running back in the country and 45th player overall. Now, Georgia wanted 2 backs in this class, and they're getting 2 backs in this class. Frazier joins Chauncey Bowen, who Georgia flipped from Florida in June. Let's bring back on Director of Recruiting for On3, Chad Simmons. Chad, another exciting commitment here on the On3 YouTube channel. Kirby beats out Saban and Lanning. What do you think put the Dogs on top here?
You know, I think it goes back to Frazier and that competition. He comes from that at modern day. He teams up with a guy like Jordan Davison, 2025 running back, a top guy in the next cycle. There at modern day, he's going to play with Chauncey Bowens. And don't forget about Dwight Phillips as well, a track star, has Olympian bloodlines in his system that can run, can play running back, maybe slot, special teams at Georgia. So I don't know who was more excited. Kirby Smart about this commitment, maybe Mike Bobo, the OC, or even the running backs coach, Dell McGee, because his room is just getting better and better with this class, adding a guy like Frazier.
Yeah, what type of player can Nate Frazier be on the next level? Is there somebody that you'd compare his game to?
Well, I think he mentioned him, a guy that Charles Power compares him to DeAndre Swift. Nate said it himself. You know, he's a guy that can definitely, be explosive in his cuts, his breaks. He can run inside, outside, be a perimeter guy. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can be a return guy if needed on special teams. He's a guy that is dynamic with the ball in his hands. He can run in space. He can make guys miss. He can run through tackles. So he's a guy I think that was kind of built to play in the SEC, and teaming up with guys like Bowens and Phillips and other guys on that Georgia roster just makes that team that much better and that much stronger.
Yeah, you got to love players that are willing to come in and compete, and that's just what Nate Frazier's willing to do at Georgia. All right, Chad, thank you for stopping by and being a part of this live commitment today.
Thank you.
And the Dogs get a good one, and they stay on top. Look at this. The On3 industry team rankings, Georgia number 1, Bama at 5, followed by Tennessee, Clemson, Michigan, Penn State, and LSU. Nate Frazier commits to Georgia over Bama and Oregon. Texas A&M, a huge pickup for Kirby Smart and the Dogs. Do me a favor right now. If you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button to the On3 YouTube page. We got plenty more coming. We got more commitments. We got more news. We got more recruiting. It's just getting started. Another live commitment here from the On3 studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. We got to see 4-star back Nathaniel Frazier pick the Georgia Bulldogs.